Hello, and welcome to our Eduro Learning video series, Coaching Fundamentals. In this series, we'll hear from 12 experienced instructional coaches from around the world on topics like how do you define the role of a coach, and what are your best strategies in a coaching conversation. The wonderful thing about being a coach is that it's so rewarding in so many different ways, and today our coaches will talk about the most rewarding part of the job for them. So you can see if you're interested in getting into the role of the coach, what the great bonuses, pluses, positive experiences will be in your role as a coach. My name is Kim Cafino, and I will be your host throughout this series. I've been really fortunate to be an instructional coach in schools around the world for the last almost 20 years, and I've learned a ton from these conversations, so I am super excited to share them with you.
Well, I think like the most rewarding part of my job is probably the most rewarding part of any educator. You know, it's seeing kids get super stoked about stuff they're doing. You know, it's really cool stuff happening. It's, you know, seeing kids that just can't stop talking about something that they did, or, you know, this connection between what kids are doing, what teachers are trying to do, you know, really kind of sync up. You know, you see kids get so excited, they're like vibrating through walls, you know, about stuff. I mean, that's just like the coolest thing. You know, seeing colleagues, I like when people are successful, you know, like be it students and or parents, you know, whoever. We work in schools which are extremely complex, and there's a lot of external factors that influence, you know, internal behaviors, etc. So I think when you work with, you know, really good leadership, and they sort of understand how to, you know, line up the pieces so they kind of just whoosh, come together, and everybody's working toward the same goal. And, you know, I mean, teachers generally are like really just awesome people to be around. So I think, you know, if everybody's sort of synced up and moving in the same direction, like really cool things happen. And I think for me, that's just really cool.
If I look back at my 6 years here, I would say the most rewarding part of my job has been to see the growth that people have made. And the fact that, you know, a few years ago, there were some people who wanted me to go in and lead lessons in their room. And now I'm really quite redundant, and they are just happy to get on and try new things and do things for themselves. And so I would say, sounds kind of really weird, but the most rewarding part of my job is sometimes when they don't need me, because it actually means I've been successful.
I think the most rewarding part of my job is seeing teachers get excited about technology, or use, you know, and using it to improve student learning. I think like when teachers use technological tools that I don't even know, not that I don't know about, but they're like, oh, I used this today, or we did this. And I'm, what? That's not even part of, you know, sometimes I think when I first started, teachers were like, oh, technology we use for this unit, we're going to use Google Earth, and for this unit, we're going to use this. And when they are using technology just because it's the best tool, or just because it's helping their students learning, that's when I get excited. Like when it's interwoven in whatever they're doing. It's not like, hey, it's time to take out the iPads, or it's time to take out the MacBooks. No, it's like, oh, I need to look something up. Oh, I need to go and do this. So, oh, you know what? I need to get my thinking out. I'm going to do a voice to text, or that's when I get excited. I have to share a story. There's a teach that we have in PE, and I'll be honest, some of the PE teachers like technology, and I don't want the kids using an iPad in PE. That just takes away from them moving and da-da-da. And we have a teacher here. His name's Louis Legault, and he is amazing. And I was in with him the other day, and it was a master class on how to use technology, because he's invested the time, and he's using it to improve student learning. So one of the things he does is he says, okay, the kids are in partners, and they just video each other, video your partner. What's your goal? Your goal for this unit, basketball, whatever it is. So the student will say, my goal is to do this. And then they actually do the skill. Less than 30 seconds, right? Done, post it to Seesaw. He can see quickly later on, oh, what is their goal? Oh, I can see what they're doing. Oh, he can give some feedback. He's using technology to help support and understand. He couldn't get around in that time. It only took 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And in that time, there's no way he could have gotten around to see everybody. But this way, he's like, I've seen them. I can see their goals. I can see what they need to do for next steps. He's in the same lesson, so the kids are doing a reflection on something. One of them is doing something, and the other kids are warming up. And then when they're finished, because they don't have iPads for everyone, they only have a certain number, kids have finished their reflection, hold out the iPad, the next kid comes along, runs along, grabs the iPad, and now they're jogging. So it's part of what they're doing. Same lesson, they have the kids, they're doing basketball, and he has the kids with a partner. You're filming your partner while they're playing. Now, what I want you to look for is spacing, because in basketball often happens, or games, the kids often clump together. So watch your partner and see how they're spaced and record it. So then when your partner, after they're playing, they've just recorded a video, partner comes and they said, okay, well, one of the things I noticed was you were doing this, and maybe you could do this. And the partner can look and see what they've done. They don't do anything with that video, but I think oftentimes we're just sitting there. If everyone's playing and we're all sitting there playing, I can't see what my spacing is like, but I'm focused on a skill and I realize, hey, that's important. I'm looking at how my partner's doing it. And then when I go out there, I'm also thinking about it and learning from what my partner just did and watching the video. It's just fantastic. And when somebody says to me, oh, the technology is going to get in the way of the kids learning. No, it's like, it's enhancing it. So that's when I get excited.
The best and most rewarding part of being a coach, for sure for me, is getting into everybody else's classrooms. I feel like I get professional development every day because I get to see the techniques that are working in the early years, and then I go into a high school classroom and see people being the very best people that they can be, and I get to sort of borrow from all of these strategies that I get to see. So the privilege of being in other people's classrooms, and also the ability to see things see the work that you do making a difference to people, whether it's the engagement of kids or whether it's a practice of graphic design, for example, moving through the school and developing a momentum. I think making a difference and being able to see that difference has been a really rewarding part of being a coach for me.
Working with teachers and students, like that's still the best part of it. But what's really great in this role is my role's, pre-K to 12. And although honestly, I don't get to do much with the pre-K kids, I do get to see them, but it's been really, really great working with elementary students. Like I've actually even had a few days when I thought to myself, time to go back to university, get my credential in elementary education and just teach an elementary class because it's really a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. They have lots of energy. They're super excited. And so that's been fun because previous to being a coach, I never did that. I had always taught, middle school and high school. And so I had never seen, I'd seen it, of course, having gone through people's rooms and stuff and education courses, but not like the day-to-day that you see and the growth you see. That's really amazing. Like, and they're so happy when they learn something new. Like, this is so cool. They love it. So I would say working with colleagues and seeing them improve is definitely a big boon. But then working with this like elementary students has been it's been a treat. It's been something I didn't expect the job to like, that would be those rewarding as it became. Like that was unexpected.
One of the most rewarding parts for me as a coach is the same as what's rewarding for me as a teacher. And that's just helping people grow. Might sound cheesy and kind of idealistic, and teachers like to say those things, but it's true. That's what got me into teaching in the first place. And so coaching is a natural progression. I also love that I have a reach that's even bigger than just my own students. That makes me feel really good to know that something that I help a teacher with, then they help their students with, and maybe another teacher sees that and they help their students with. And so now it's not just, I'm only confined to the students that I have that I influence. I can influence many more. It's not in that same direct way. And I'll always miss that direct connection with students, but it's really rewarding to know that you're reaching so many people.
So as a coach, what's been really rewarding for me is seeing the teachers grow and to gain confidence and to be more independent in what they're doing, and then also to see that reflected in the students. As a coach, I often talk about how I work with teachers, but ultimately it's what's happening in the classroom with the students. So the most rewarding thing is when they're the confidence that teachers have, and they're doing things, and maybe it was just a conversation that I had with them, or maybe it's something we did a really intense work with them to reach their goals, and then you see that reflected in what's happening in their classroom.
I think the most rewarding part of my job is when I have worked with a teacher or a group of teachers on something, and it goes so well that the end result is that they share it with other teachers. And so to me, it's that kind of exponential, it's the butterfly effect. If you can do something with people that they value enough to then show someone else, here's something I didn't know how to do, and now I know how to do it, and look how it's impacting my productivity or my students' learning or whatever it is. When you kind of see that spreading, that just feels good. That's, you know, you've done good work, you know, you've made an impact, and it's not that someone's saying thank you to you, but they're sharing it on to help others. I think that's a great compliment, and certainly makes me feel like I'm doing good work.
Well, the most rewarding part has been, and I guess I'm still in the honeymoon phase, right? Is because I'm working with, yes, me, please, teachers, is how excited teachers are to break things open and rewrite, and then how excited they are to see when little bits that we've imagined come right. You know, they don't all come right, but you know, there's empowered learners all around us. Look at them. You know, that's super exciting. You know, and then in my situation, I think my principal, who is a wonderful principal, is just forming an idea of a more inquiry-based type of learning, and he finds it very exciting. And so when he sees kids doing, like, using design thinking to wrestle with a problem, he's like, what are they doing? And the kids can explain it to him. This is really exciting for him. It's kind of out of the box, you know. And that makes me excited, because that's a little fire. It's another little fire, right? That just perhaps moved things along a bit. So those are the exciting things.
The most rewarding part of my job is definitely when I've brought something to a team and they have given it a go with hesitation or not, and come back like with almost every single member going, that worked great, we want to do it again next year. Obviously, like, it's success moments when it just works out. They see what I was trying to bring to them as a goal, and they see how it actually enhanced the learning for the students. And so when that all works out, it's so, you know, satisfying.
I think the most rewarding part of the job is seeing teachers who were previously hesitant become confident and become comfortable and become more independent and more risk-taking. These are exactly the types of things we want to see in our students. And I think when we start looking at our school community as a community of learners rather than a community of teachers versus a community of students, those same outcomes apply to everybody, whether they're your head of school or your principal, or, you know, your second grade EAL teacher, or your, you know, seventh grade students. You want to see them become independent, and you want to see them become confident and comfortable, and you want to see them make choices and justify those choices and just feel comfortable in what they're doing. And I think that brings a lot of joy and a lot of reward to what it is that I do.
The most rewarding part of the coaching job, I think, is that you have so many opportunities to watch people make that transition from no to whoa. And it happens all the time. Sometimes it happens again with those very small wins, or sometimes it does happen with something that's a pretty big shift in terms of the way that the person is approaching teaching and learning. And I think it's just, you know, again, schools are important because, of course, our students are being stretched. And I think the best schools are places where teachers are being stretched too. And I think coaches get to see it in a way that's so unique. And it's a real privilege that I'm thankful for.
Being a coach is hard work, but there are tons of rewards. Hopefully hearing all of those great experiences from our network of coaches helped inspire you to continue on your journey to becoming a coach. If you like this format, hearing from lots of different perspectives on a single topic, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel to get all 12 videos in this series. Turn on notifications to find out when we're live on YouTube and to be the first to see the next installment. Have questions about instructional coaching, or would you like to see a specific video series related to anything about education and technology? Leave us a comment below and let us know. Want to see even more instructional coaching resources after you've watched this series? Head on over to our website to check out our free resources, more videos, and online courses about teaching and learning and coaching in the digital world.